Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Night Moves with the Fox. The show is actually called All Night Long with the Fox, and it is on Night Moves Studio up on YouTube channel. Tonight is going to be, from my point of view anyway, a little bit of an extra special show, simply because it's kind of homegrown. It's a small town Canadian star, or in my eyes, a star anyway. We have done maybe, I think, one or two other shows with webcam models, but never from Canada, as far back as I can remember anyway. I might have done one a way back with one from Vancouver, British Columbia, but never one this close to, shall I call it, where my studio is. We're just going to call it, she's from small town Manitoba, Canada. And I know you're all thinking, first of all, where the hell is Manitoba, Canada? Don't worry about it. It's a pretty small town. It's growing quite rapidly. And I spoke with sweetlilkitty69 just before we went on the show to get some background on her. And what has shocked me kind of the most is she told me that when she first started up being a webcam model, she was the only one in the town. And now there are, I hope I remember, just moments ago she told me this, but I'm getting old and my memory's going. I think she said there's about 5 or 6 now besides her that are doing it. Anyway, without any further delay, welcome to the show, Sweet Little Kitty 69.
Hi.
A sweet and just simple hi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Can you tell the listeners all over the country, North America and around the world, how does we all know that anywhere in the States, for whatever reason, there's more availability, more opportunity, a whole lot easier to promote. It's just a lot more readily available to be a webcam model or whatever you want to label it. How does a girl from small town Manitoba, Canada, how do you get involved in this? How did you get to be where you are today?
I was sexually deprived. I'm just, I thought about modeling and acting, and after considering it, and someone wanted me to sign on with them, I thought of how boring it would be, and I wanted to explore my sexual side a little bit further, and so I went out and I bought a webcam and I signed on to iFriends Network, their platform, and it just took off right from day one. I was so intrigued and so fascinated, and I still am 2 years later, even though I've left iFriends now and I'm on StreamMate, but yeah, it never gets dull.
How did you know who to contact? How did you know where to go to get yourself into the stream of things?
An ex-boyfriend of mine, like 12 years ago, wanted to do camming. He found it on the internet, and I didn't really know the internet at that time. So I said, okay, that I would do it. So we went and bought our first computer, but we never ended up doing it. But I remembered from then.
Now, even though this is going to be heard all over the world, and maybe I shouldn't ask this question, but just out of my own curiosity and maybe others, is there any one company for what you're doing that is better than another? Or is it just different ways of doing it that makes so many out there?
I think you just have to find your place. You have to find where you're the most comfortable. Each site has their own traffic and amounts of traffic, and it's the way you work it. And I guess where you work would depend on your personality, right? I believe
Definitely.
that. I believe that. Like on iFriends, it got a little bit slower after being busy for so long. And so I went to StreamMate, and it was just super busy, and it was just like being at a big party rather than a small one. So
Do you
I just,
happen to know, like today, if you were doing a show today, do you do it literally one-on-one, or do you have a lot of people viewing your show at any one given time?
I have had up to 10 people viewing a show. That's on iFriends. Or not on iFriends, on StreamMate, sorry. Because they have the option to go one-on-one or just to go into a private chat, and others can come in. So I've had up to 10 so far. So yeah, there is multiple people where I am, or you can go one-on-one. You pay a little more, but you get to go one-on-one.
What's the difference between price-wise, roughly? What's the difference between one-on-one and the other show?
On the site I work on, you set your own prices. The difference for me is $3 a minute.
Wow.
One-on-one. But it's because they get me one-on-one rather than,
Right.
And I'll do more things for them, and I'm more apt to do more of what they want.
Right. Now, you obviously don't have to go into explicit detail, but on an average, Joe Blow calls you up. I guess that's how it works. Can you just tell us roughly how it works? I have never gone on a webcam show in my life, and I'm not lying. I've gone on a webcam with other stars to do an interview, but how roughly can you give us a breakdown how it works and what the average request would be from anybody, man or woman? Or am I allowed to ask you that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. So you're sitting on your cam, you're running a chat room. Kind of like how Yahoo Chat used to be, where a whole bunch of people were in there, except
Right.
for you are the host of the room. Everybody can see you, and you kind of do your thing. You tease, you do whatever. You intrigue somebody, they take you private. So you start doing whatever.
One moment. How do they take you private?
They click on the button. There's an enter my private chat button on where I work.
Now, when you do that, for the other ones that don't want to go private, what do they see then?
A box comes up that says this model is in a private show.
Oh, okay. So they're shut out now, so to speak.
Yes, they can still sit in the chat room and wait for you to come out. But yeah, you're in a private chat with somebody, and that they just see a black box.
Oh, wow. Now, how long, on average, you've got some that are probably relatively short, maybe they just have never done it before, and you've got some that are veterans at it, and they know you pretty good, they're a regular customer. How long is your average show?
Typically, that's a tough question.
Oh.
Because where I am, you can have like a long show to start with. Like the guy who initially took you private will be in there for, say, 10 minutes. But during that, you can have a bunch of other people come in, and they might just come in and peek at what you're doing and leave, and they might come in for a minute, or you got the, what I call come and runners.
Yeah, I like that expression.
Yeah. So it depends. I guess an average show for me, if I had to average it out, is about 5 minutes.
Well, that sounds like a very short time, but I guess a lot can happen in 5 minutes. And if you add it up by the minute, I guess that's a fair income.
Yeah.
Now, how has your show, your clientele, so to speak, how has that grown since when you first began?
I don't think it's ever changed. I really don't think I think just when I went in there, I just went in there full force, and I was really shy, and I always just had a room full of lots of people.
Now, when you first started out, you were really shy.
Yes.
Now, how, as a webcam model, what do you do to get over cam shyness, or however you label it?
Practice saying pussy and cock.
Oh, okay. And obviously it makes you smile.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't do that at first. So guys would come in because they knew I was the shy new girl, and they would bug me. Say
Now,
pussy, Catherine. Say
what
cock, Catherine.
now, what do you think if you went in there and at the very beginning you were very shy, but at the same time you were shocked at how well it took off? What
Yeah.
do you think it was? Either what about you, or what was it that you did, or what was it that you think made your webcam show take off right away? Or
I
can you
think
name anything?
My personality, definitely. You have to have a personality to be able to do this and do well.
Have you had some bad nights?
Oh God, yeah. There's times when I'm like sitting there and you'll catch me on cam and I'm just so bitchy and I'm like but then you gotta think if you can think by that time because you just want to wring someone's neck, you know, but you just gotta think, you know, you're not gonna sell a show being bitchy, so
Now, what
yeah,
causes the night to be a bitchy night, a bad night for you? Is it just the way you're feeling and tired, or is some person taking you into a private chat and been rude to you?
it could be a number of things. It could be like just a game night and it's slow, or maybe everybody's checking out the new girls, or you know, it could be a number of things. Like maybe all your regulars aren't on that night and it just seems slower. Maybe it's really not that slow, you know. But then as your mood starts to change, people come in and they don't see that beautiful smile, and so they take off. They don't want to be there.
Do most or any of your regulars on your cam shows, do most of them or any of them actually know where you're from?
Yes. I've met some.
No kidding.
I have. I've met 4 or 5. I don't even want to call them members because they've become really close friends of mine. And well, they're regulars of mine too, but I have I've met 4 or 5, and the ones I haven't met that I've become really close to know where I live. Yes.
Now, does that mean that they as well are in your area or in Manitoba, Canada? I'm not getting close here. I'm not getting techie. I'm just trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Lots of them are far away, married, so I know it's okay for me to let them know when we've developed some kind of relationship. And then I guess when you've been camming a long time, you get a feel for people and you just kind of know like who you can kind of trust and who you can't. Not like extremely trust because you don't know anybody, but
right. Now, I've got a real loaded question for you.
Okay.
And I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's not meant to be rude. Have you ever had any real extreme proposals?
Yes.
like what? If you can, don't name any names at all, but just
I don't remember their names. I kick them out.
You just tell them to leave?
I have a boot button I can use, and if they keep bugging me, I can actually block them from coming into my room ever again. I can name a